has potential, bro.
He does, but it's just like, I feel like with Wayne, the whole conversation popped up because he had a little bit of everything, or you can see potential in everything that he did. Like, he was a lyricist, he was all over production, he could switch his flow, like, and then he had rock, like, he had potential, he wanted to learn other instruments.
That was my favorite thing, he could switch up the flow. I love that about music.
What's up, y'all? This is Thirsty Thursday. My name is Carmelo. This is Anthony. This is Casey. Today we're here for our top 5 albums of 2017. As the year comes to an end, we just like to reminisce of everything that has released throughout the year and just talk about our favorites. One at a time, we're just going to go through our top 5s off rip, and then we're just going to talk about the mutual artists, and then we'll have some solo time to talk about the other artists that you had in your own top 5.
Individuals.
Yeah, so I'm going to start off my top 5. Migos, that's number 5. Then number 4, Drake. Then Tyler the Creator. Top 2 is Kendrick Lamar. And then number 1 is JayZ.
For 5, I got Vince Staples. 4, I got Big K.R.I.T. 3, I got Migos.
Word.
2, I got Kendrick. 1, I got Hope.
Okay, word.
Yeah, a lot of different people.
That's fine.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Alright, so for 5, I put Jaden Smith. 4 would be J. Cole. 3 is Logic. 2 is Joey Badass, and number 1 is Kendrick.
So put Logic there? Top 5 Logic?
I have to.
Why Logic? Why'd you put Logic in your top 5?
Alright,
I wasn't impressed. It was good. I liked it, but it was just.
I liked it a lot because what he was talking about, I could relate. I wish that's like 1-800 came out sooner than it did when I was going through like the hardest times of my life. You know what I mean? I related to that shit with the sadness and stuff that's going on in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for a song to actually physically make me cry when I listen to it, I feel like that has to be in my top, bro. And then the rest of the album alone is just, it has positive messages here and there, topics that's going on in the world, and not even just like in the news, but like stuff that's going on in like, you know, social media and stuff like that. Like people are like zombies on their phone.
I guess.
What view did you approach your top 5? Because that's a interesting list.
It is.
That's what I want to know.
That wouldn't even come close to a top 5 in my list. I'm sorry, bro.
Because I want to hear like stories that is more relatable to either me or people in general.
Okay.
That's what I like. I like the storytelling and I like relatability a lot. As long as, and also with production, because I love the production in all of these albums as well.
It's very good production, but I like, me personally, I don't relate to him at all, and he's constantly talking about how he's mixed too, bro. Like,
I know,
constantly.
That's the thing.
And
Is that
it gets very annoying at times.
that hidden track that J. Cole made for him, that is like not even on the album. Like now it is. I think they added it to Africarian. That is literally J. Cole talking to Logic. Just, you know, doesn't matter what you are. Like who you are is who you are. It doesn't matter if you're black or you're white and stuff like that. Like accept yourself before you can look for acceptance anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that is a huge positive message as well.
I agree.
It's a lesson that Logic took from J. Cole, and J. Cole is his top artist. That's his favorite.
It sold a lot of units too.
It really
sold
did.
a lot of units.
It really did, because it was relatable. Like people have depression, people have anxiety, people go through things like this. Like they encounter inequality and stuff like that as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope. Who'd you put Kendrick Lamar in your rank?
He was number 1.
He was number 1. I put him as 2.
He was number 1.
2, I think.
Why'd you put him as 1? Like, Kendrick, damn, is fire, bro.
Damn, it's a fire-ass album.
It's fire.
It's fire. I remember the first time we listened to it, was you and I, we were waiting to pick up Chrissy from work. I remember.
Yeah, and DNA blew my face out.
Yup.
Oh my god.
Yup. That from blood transitioned into DNA, like that hard.
Yeah.
Oh, that melted my face. Mike Will made it, killed the beat too, especially with the beat change too. That sample was fire. Who did he use as that sample? I think he used did he use Big James?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He used Big James. Yo, that sample was fire, bro, and the transitions from song to song too throughout the entire album was just fuego.
Yeah. That's why I put him in my top, because the way that the whole album is set up. Like, you know how there's the theme of, like, you know, his wickedness or weakness? Like, what's he more vulnerable?
Yeah.
That's what I loved about how he set up the whole album. The way he set it up. Every other track was wicked or weakness.
Right.
And then that's why he came out with the backwards. I just thought the way he did that was just phenomenal, too.
Yeah.
The Heart Part
playing
4
with
was
that.
a good warm-up to the album,
That
too.
really
Yeah,
was.
that track is fire. That track is heat, man.
Hard parts are all awesome.
It was almost like a troll, because when that day come, it was like a pre-order for the album.
Right. I was like,
I was
really?
so upset. I was so upset. He did come out with Humble, though.
Humble was fire too.
Humble was great. That was a nice week. That track took over my whole week.
He's been on a little run. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Kendrick is on the verge of being sort of like a Kanye West. He's never missed an album that he's never missed.
He has.
I don't think
he has.
With what?
He has. How to Pimp a Butterfly. It wasn't. No, hold on. It wasn't a miss to us because we appreciate music, but to a lot of other people,
No.
like, we're only listening to like.
A lot of people
beats and
appreciate
production.
music, bro. No, a lot of
A
people
lot of people
appreciate
didn't like
that.
How to Pimp a Butterfly.
A lot of people appreciate that, bro.
That was How to Pimp a Butterfly's biggest critique, that it did not. That he couldn't tour off of it and stuff like that. So that's what I'm
I
saying.
see
like,
that, but
was it a
but
flop?
I wouldn't be considered a flop, but I do see that it's not like it got bangers and shit
Right,
all over.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go back and listen to like old K.R.I.T music, he's never had an album that didn't knock. Like even Section 80. Section 80 was slow, but he had knockers. So it was like, that's why I'm like, I don't consider it a flop because I love Kendrick and I like his storytelling ability. Like I said, in my review, like his storytelling abilities is great. It's like a modern day Slick Rick. You know what I mean? Like the way that he paints is like such a vivid picture.
Like a vivid story.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the game for it. And that's why I felt like Dan really set everything apart and it's so high on my list because he was able to paint that story but still give you knockers. Like you said, DNA. Like, and he told the story throughout the whole thing.
He's very relatable too. He's never afraid to show his vulnerable side.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that about Kendrick Lamar. He constantly in To Pimp a Butterfly and also in Damn, he's shown his vulnerable side a lot. And you know, it's very relatable, and I can appreciate that. He can connect with his fans in that kind of level. That's really dope to me. Now, I noticed that you had Vince Staples in your top 5, bro.
Yeah.
Yo.
Staples is top 5.
Staples is the man, but he ain't top 5. He's the man, though.
For this project, Staples is top 5. Because I felt like he just found his place. Like, he cemented his place, and he just let everybody know, like, this is my style. I own it, and, like, you can either rock with it or not, but you're going to respect this project. And you have to. You have to respect the project. The uniqueness that he brought to it, the production that he has to it, the way that he was able to flow and stay.
Went in with confidence.
Yeah, like,
confident.
killed it.
I feel like sometimes I like the album, but sometimes when I feel like I'm listening to the whole entire album, it's just one big song. And sometimes it does give me that vibe. And like the whole album goes through and I don't even realize it sometimes.
sometimes.
It's crazy.
I feel it.
It's crazy, bro. So I put Tyler the Creator in my 3. Anybody, did you put Tyler the Creator?
I had him in honorable mention.
That
It was between Flower Boy and Vince Staples for 5. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you like Flower Boy?
I did.
Yo, Flower Boy
I did like Flower Boy.
That's his best album
Yeah.
to date.
It is.
Like that's the improvement in the production that he's made and his bars that he had, and also he started singing too. Yo, Tyler the Creator can sing.
I know, and that's
That's
why it's
crazy.
He flexed in this one.
Yo, he's
Showed his skill.
really shown his maturity. He's
Right.
really shown his growth in his music as well. A$AP Rocky killed his feature and Who That Boy.
Right.
That joint was fire. Jaden Smith made a feature as well. Jaden Smith, that's when I started taking him a little bit more seriously
Right.
because it sounded really well with the chemistry that he had with Tyler the Creator. And the album's not too long. At all, so it's really easy to go through.
and digest.
Yeah.
The nice Lil Wayne feature was dope. The Lil Quick song with Lil Wayne was dope. It's always nice to hear from him. Free Carter 5. And he's just really impressed me. I'm really excited to see what he has next at this point. And he's done most of the producing himself. That's incredible.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
That's
impressive.
incredible.
For me, I was like super surprised because every time I hear Tyler, it's like I don't know what to expect from him. Like you never really know what you're gonna get off of a project. And I felt like he just like it was very pleasant. Like he honestly blew me away from him singing to like showing his MC abilities. He did a little bit of storytelling, which was nice. And then like the fact, like you said, he produced most of that. Like he really, it was just a showcase.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, can we talk about Migos?
Yeah.
You put Migos on your list too?
Migos is 3.
I respect it.
Migos has to be 3.
He was number 5 for me. They were number 5 for me. Like,
why so low?
Trap, to me, in my opinion, it's good for the bangers, but it's not really good, like, for, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like, just music in general? Like, as an art?
Not necessarily, because trap is an art.
Right.
Trap is an art, but I don't connect to the Migos like I connect to, let's say, Kanye West.
Okay.
Or like I connect to, let's say, somebody would connect to J. Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying relatability.
Right, exactly. Like, they talk about flossing and whips.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's the main reason I listen to
right. So, but I like trap music. You know, it's very upbeat, and I like it. You can use it for the gym. You can use it for the whip.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really nice.
Like, I understand the place of it, because, like, you know, you get, like, say you go and buy a new car or something, you want to flex, right? You want to bump some Migos.
Right. It's good for the house parties, too,
Yeah.
for the clubs. Like, they make good club music, and I like that. Club music is really catchy.
But that's just a genre I don't listen to often, you know what I mean?
I mean, to each its own. I mean, I listen to it a lot, and like Uzi came out this year, that 21 Savage and Offset with Metro Boomin. That one was hard too. But out of all of those albums, like Culture that came out earlier this year, bro, that song was fire. That entire track list is nothing but bangers. All the producers that they had, bro, Zaytoven is always classic, bro. OJ Parker did his thing, R&B did his thing, Metro Boomin, of course. Like, there's so many producers that they use. Travis Scott, that was a great feature.
Solid.
That's always a good feature.
2 Chainz did his thing on Deads, and that song is fire too. Takeoff did his thing on that when that beat changed. Takeoff did his thing. You know, he did his thing, like, and I still consistently like bump to it. Like, I base my top 5 based on replay value. Like, what albums did I go through the most throughout the year? Culture was definitely on that list, bro. Like, I keep going back to it even to this day.
I feel like for the hype that it generated, and like everybody was on it, like everybody was like, I have to hear this, I have to see what it's about. I feel like you gotta give it respect, and that's why I put it at my number 3. Because like it was so hyped up. It was probably one of the most anticipated albums of the whole year.
And they fell through, man. Like, it went through. It delivered.
It delivered. Like you said, it doesn't have that relatability, but for a lot of people, in the way that the culture is nowadays, that's what trap music is, the culture. And one aspect or another, like it might not have that relatability, it might not have that positive message, but it bumps. And I feel like a lot of the youth nowadays, that's what they want. You got Gucci Gang going around everywhere. Like, I feel like they did trap music very well. They did it justice, and they brought it to like the way it should be. So I had to pay respect. I gotta give them respect. They had to go at number 3. Not too high, not too low. Right there was supposed to be happening.
That is true. Trapping is a lifestyle.
Yo, can you talk about JayZ? Your list is different, bro. All your artists are different. I think Anthony and I got like at least 3 to 4 artists.
I told you. Like, I listen to different shit.
I like your list. Like,
I'm always the different person.
Tell me more about JayZ Smith. I know you really like that album, bro.
Yeah, I listened, like, before you even finished it the first time, I already listened to it like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
But I just loved it. Like, the first time I listened through, I was just so impressed with the production. That's why I had to go and find out who did it. And I found out it was Lito. I was like, yo, this is really good. And then I started the second time around, I'm just more paying attention to the lyrics and what he was talking about, the stories that he was telling and stuff like that. And for a young artist to come out with an album like that, that's very impressive to me. That's why I had to put him up there. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
I listened to it the most this year, probably.
I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like it can't be top 5. Like, it just came out. You know what I mean? He just came out. You already know, like, I love the album. It's amazing, but it's his freshman album. You know what I mean? Like, how are you automatically gonna be like, oh, your freshman album is top 5 of the year? And there's some albums that are like that, but they're classics through and through. Like, you already know once you hear it, like, it's gonna withstand the test of time. Guaranteed.
I feel like for me personally, that the Sire album's gonna stand the test of time. I don't know about for everybody, but me personally, 3 years down the line, I'm gonna go back to that. You know what I mean? That's why I put it up there.
What about 5 years?
Yeah.
10 years?
If he continues to make great music and I continue to listen to him, I still go back and listen to Kanye all the time because he continued to deliver every time.
I can't compare Jaden Smith to Kanye.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm not comparing. I'm just saying another artist that I do that with. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I feel like this album I will always go back to.
I feel like we're all entitled to our own opinion. I get that. I respect that. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's an honorable mention because it's his freshman album. There's some people that put out like amazing first albums and then it's just flop, fell off the map. Yo, who is that guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'm saying I'm thinking the mindset not of the future of his career.
Right.
I'm thinking the mindset of 2017. Mm-hmm. What were my favorite albums to listen to back to back? Not skipping a single song all the time.
Right.
Put it on probably once a week. Because you guys know I'm in my car often.
Yeah, no.
I listen to like albums all the time.
Thanks.
But I usually just put them on repeat. So I listen to a lot of same shit all the time. But I see that as an album that's like that for me.
I respect it. I just can't. Like when I think of freshman albums that are classics, it's like classics like Jay, Reasonable Doubt. Like I don't know. That's just my view on it. It's definitely an honorable mention. It definitely piqued my interest. Like I'm gonna pay attention. Like anytime he drops something.
I gotta root for the underdog sometimes.
My friend is underdog.
I mean, I hope it comes with some dope visuals and some merchandise too. Maybe a tour too. Who knows when Jaden Smith goes on tour? And the tour might be fire.
It really might be fire.
I
hope he follows through.
I hope he does. I hope he does, and I hope he proves me wrong. And I hope I look back at this video like, yo, I was an idiot.
Right. I agree, cause I did notice him when he was in a Rap Genius video, and he had a Sire hoodie on.
That hoodie
was
was kind of fire.
It was nice. It was nice.
If it was a different color, I would like. If it was like black with like undertones of gray, I would have caught that shit.
So I was pretty impressed. I was impressed with the album. So
impressed.
I can see why I was on your list, but it wouldn't be on my top 5 out of every artist that dropped throughout the year. There's a lot of music.
Top 10?
Yes.
Maybe.
Top 10, I'll put it in top 10. I'll put it at like 9. It's good music. It's a great album. Actually, scratch that. It's not good. It's great. It's a great album. But
especially for a freshman album.
Yeah.
It's a great album for
top 5.
How early he is.
For my top 5, he's not taking 5. 5 is between Vince Staples and Tyler the Creator. So right there alone, just comparing those 3 projects.
I'm gonna tell you chose Vince Staples over Tyler the Creator. I'm so upset.
Yo, and then 4 was Big K.R.I.T.
Big K.R.I.T was
like
fire.
Big K.R.I.T. after being gone for that long and giving us a double album, like back-to-back CDs, and they're both fire.
Both of them are fire.
Yeah, Big K.R.I.T was an honorable mention for me.
2.
Yeah, they both were.
Like left or right, what you want?
But I listen to Soccer a lot more than other ones.
Oh, that's ridiculous, man. I agree. That's great because I wholeheartedly agree. I missed Big K.R.I.T. He went on a what? 3 years?
3 years, bro.
3 years hiatus, man. 3 years hiatus, and he came back and he slapped everybody in the face.
Bumping, bro. You said, what you want?
You
want me to bet on this? I got you.
It bumped in the whip so good too.
Yes.
Oh my god. When I listen to that album in the whip, it's amazing. My sub-esteem.
Aux cord, fire. Like
Layup is fire.
Yeah.
Layup is fire. I know his first.
That album was really good. I didn't even think about that.
I even
Which
know.
one?
I forgot.
Which one? CD 1 or 2?
The first one is really good with
The
bangers.
first one is my favorite
It's
too.
really good with bangers.
First
I think the first one is my favorite.
But the second one you can't disrespect.
It's not. It's still a classic. Like
It's a classic.
It's a classic.
That's why I'm like, it had to be on my top 5. So like, Flower Boy, Vince Staples, Big Fish Theory, Big K.R.I.T, and then Sire. Like, Sire has to fall off the list. For me, at least. You know what I mean?
You had J. Cole there, man. He dropped in 2016 technically, but we'll let this one slide. It was late
You said that this would technically count. I'm going off your rule.
We'll let
You
this
said
one slide.
this is your rule.
I'll count it.
I counted. So
You just know J. Cole is my top 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, again, with the storytelling, I just love the storytelling. Even though it's not his story that he's telling, he's telling McMillan's. It's still, a lot of people can relate to either being McMillan or being McMillan's daughter growing up fatherless.
Now,
Either way you look at the album, someone can relate to it.
I got a question for you. So
I got a question for him too. Now, You and I both know J. Cole is your favorite artist, right?
Yes.
Where is he ranked in your top 5?
Third?
Why?
Third?
Why is your favorite artist ranked as number 3 in your top 5?
Because, yes, he's my favorite artist, but for what's like Joey Bada's topic that was going on in that album is a topic I get very passionate about. And then just the artistry of Kendrick. Like Kendrick is like becoming, like he may take top 1 for me, honestly. He may take over for J. Cole. J. Cole will be second.
Question. So remember how just like 2 minutes ago we were talking about freshman artists and freshman tapes and their first projects? How do you feel about Playboi Carti?
I never listened to him, honestly.
Playboi Carti had a fire freshman project.
I never listened to him, honestly.
I agree with Anthony. That project was
Fire. And he's not. I'll make it an honorable mention. I'll put it at like number 10. But it's a freshman project.
Yeah.
Like, granted, it's trap. Trap's not so much you. I get it.
That's the only reason why I haven't listened to it.
Right.
Because I see the name Playboi
It has
Carti,
a lot of
I
replay
may not like
value.
it.
It does,
It
though.
has a lot of replay
It does.
value.
It was the summer song.
Yeah.
Summer song.
There was a summer
Magnolia?
album. Summer album.
I did like
Definitely.
Magnolia. That was. I heard that song. I did like.
Freshman album.
We got.
I'm sleeping
We had
on that.
memories
I
with
got
that
I'm
album.
sleeping
We
on
had
that.
memories. We
That's
had
what I'm
memories with that album, bro. That album.
I feel
was
like
great.
everybody does.
Yes. That album was great. It was a good summer. It was a good summer. But I still want to put that in my top 5.
That's what I'm saying.
I still want to put that in my top 5.
I put it top 10 for sure.
It's it. Playboi Carti needs to grow.
Yeah.
He has so much potential, and a lot of artists and a lot of fans recognize that. And I wish him the best. I really do. But as far as top 5 for this year, maybe not. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does the next year or the year after that, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
You put Joey Badass too. He was in my. He's 6. He's 6 for me. He barely made the list. And the reason why he didn't make my top 5, in my opinion, he was too political. He was too political.
That's
and I did
why
not
he
like
made my
that.
top 5.
I feel like his whole career's been based around that though, like underground political.
He's a conscious rapper.
Yeah.
He talks about shit that's going on. That's
Yeah.
why he's up there, because the topics. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's something that people have to wake up to. That's something that's real. People are sleeping on what's going on in the government and everything like that. So that's what he with this album is that he's trying to wake people up. You know what I mean?
At the same time, not everybody believes in that, so
It's kind of hard.
it is. I'm not saying that I don't believe in that, but what I am saying is I just prefer artists to just not put the political opinions into their art. It gets kind of funky with media, and the media can take the words out of proportion. Be a Kendrick Lamar. What is this album based on?
So, question.
You know, that's.
Do you feel like that's why Joey Badass does not get media coverage the way that he should?
I think that's why.
Because his first album.
That's exactly why. He's the underdog. Joey Badass has always been the underdog. But
But
he's
because
fire.
of the topic that he
But
raps
he's
about,
fire.
he may never go mainstream.
The man can.
He will always be underground because of the shit that he raps
But the
about.
man can spit.
But I don't feel like he's underground anymore.
He's not. He's not.
No,
really
but like
underground
you know what I
anymore.
mean by like he's not gonna be like higher up status.
Well, he's going to continue to work hard.
Huge
I truly believe that Joey Badass is going to continue to work hard to achieve that level. He hasn't disappointed us ever since his debut mixtape 1999.
Yeah.
Ever since then, he has never disappointed us. So, this album was sign of growth. The production was dope. I can tell he spent a lot of time working on this album.
Yeah.
I know he's going to work harder in the next album based on the pattern that he has showed me already.
Yeah.
We'll talk that. He's 6, but he wasn't 5 for me. That's just my opinion. He's
He's
just
close,
a
though.
little too political.
He almost
Nobody,
made it.
nobody put without warning? No one? I thought it was gonna be like 5.5. Like I thought you was gonna try to find a way to weasel it in there.
I couldn't, man, and
His bangers doesn't.
I wouldn't honestly. I wouldn't be mad at you because it's the first 21 album or project that I could listen to, and it's not just the singles.
yes, I agree. I'm not a fan of 21 Savage at all.
I can't say that anymore. After that, I can't say that.
But
I low-key kinda like him.
he showed,
Yeah.
I low-key kind of like him now.
I wouldn't put that there, man. Maybe in top 10, but
Top 10?
maybe in top 10. But I wanted to get very critical with this episode, and I wanted to make it really difficult.
I just thought for sure he was gonna do like 5.5. And I was gonna be like, dog, no, 5. Literally, I had like a whole little piece on it. I was about to tell you like, nah.
Number 1, did you go through all your artists in your list?
1 was Hov.
I agree. My number 1
13
was
studio album. The man got 8 Grammy nominations off of it, and he's still flexing and cementing himself while talking about topics that nobody want to talk about, like it's casual.
How does one man make 13 albums and still manage to make a top album like that?
He's holding.
Not to mention 4 collaborations too.
Facts.
Not to mention 4 collaborations.
Facts. He's Hov, bro. You can talk about anything, and you
Well,
gonna buy it. Eat
Beats
it
by
all up. Eat it up. Eat the cake in. You got to, bro. The man put out a DVD and everyone bought it.
It was fire. That Fade to Black DVD was fire, man. Like,
Say
see
DVD.
to make the Black Album like arguably one of my favorite albums, like period, like top 5 favorite albums, period. And just to see him make the art is wonderful.
It had to be number 1, man. For me, at least, it had to be number 1. He talked about tough topics nobody was trying to talk about. Put them all out there. Took off the mask. Really, really took off the mask. And was just like, yo, this is what it is. This is how I feel about it. Let me put y'all on.
He talked a lot about his personal relationships, his marriage as well, and even like
He got really personal.
in an album he talked about stop beefing with these mumble rappers or like, you know, the Family Feud. And then when Moonlight came out, he told the mumble rappers stop spitting the same flow. That's crazy.
And all bumps. It's bumps.
This is Chief. JayZ is the chief of hip hop. Whenever he dropped that album, it's just like you're hearing the chief speak on his point of view on hip hop. And that's dope.
Had to be. Dan was fire,
He was-
but it's Hov.
Yeah.
No ID did his thing too on the productions.
Flex.
Oh my god.
Flex.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Beats by Dion. And yet again, I would have never expected. I always thought JayZ would make a Kanye West production only collab before No ID. And when it first dropped, I didn't know what to expect with a full production list by No ID. And the soul that he put in those beats was so fire.
There's a reason why he's been around for a minute. He proved it.
He's my favorite producer.
Yeah.
I know from his early work the shit that he does. That's why, like, when I found out that No ID was doing the production, I was like, that explains why it's so good.
I think this was the first Hov album that you were like excited, and you was like,
For me,
"Yo, Hov put out an album." I'm like, "Nick, Hov."
for me,
Yo, this Casey? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I got excited for 444.
I know.
Especially when I heard OJ.
Like it was
Like,
J.O.
yo.
and I was like, "Yo, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Did you put JayZ in your list?
JayZ?
No,
He would be-
He would be 6.
Why?
He would be 6.
Why? Why 6? Out of all those rappers, like, what was he missing?
That's one of the 2 elephants in the room. The other one we gonna get to in a second.
Yeah. I feel like what was missing was, like, alright, in the Jackie Got Us podcast, when they were saying,
Jackie Got Us.
when they were saying that the whole conversation was about relatability, like, yes, I agree with them. Like, maybe some people don't relate to it. Like, I know the album was really great.
Right.
I'm gonna consider that a classic. I listened to it through and through, and there's not a track I would skip.
Right.
But at the moment in my life, I don't relate to a lot of that stuff that's going on. But I take it as a word of advice, like you were saying. Some people may like brush off that advice and not take it at the moment. I do take that advice. Like, I may not be going through it right now, but I'm gonna look back and
Put it in my sock.
yes,
Gotcha.
I take that advice. I appreciate advice and stuff like that on maybe something I can draw back to in the future.
I can understand.
We go through your list?
Yeah,
That's it? Your list is done? That's it?
You put Drake?
Drake.
Middle of the pack, you put Drake.
Forgot about that one.
Nah, I ain't forget. I told you 2 elephants in the room.
He was holding that.
Yeah, it was.
I put Drake as 4. Yes, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir.
He's a Drake fanboy.
I'm not. Yeah,
Yo,
I like Drake.
You can't argue with that.
I like Drake. I like Drake. I gotta admit, man, the man can spit. spit, man. The man can spit. He
The
got
one that was
flows.
like,
yeah,
yo,
yeah.
culture, this and that, the trap music, yeah, big booty girls, yeah, but I like Drake. What?
The thing about Drake, he sets a vibe.
He did.
He sets a really good vibe in most of his music. Like whether you're in the car, whether you're with your girl, you're at the crib, you're at the party, you're at the club, you can listen to
Doesn't
Drake.
matter.
You can find a Drake song.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fire.
I feel like, I do agree with you, he does have great replay value, but I feel like it's Drake now. Like, not to discount Drake, Drake's an amazing artist, but it's Drake.
Drake's the highest streaming artist in Apple Music, bro.
I know, but it's like, I feel like I can't give Drake a top 5 anymore unless it's like a classic.
Define classic. Because I've heard people classify Views as a classic. I've heard that before. And you'd be lying if you say you haven't.
I've heard it, but it's Twitter.
I don't agree with
it's on
it.
Twitter. You just
I
scroll,
don't.
It's on Twitter.
That's the world. The world is saying that the Twitter world is saying Views is a classic. Some may disagree. A lot of people do agree.
I feel like Drake's album was a solid album. It wasn't a classic, so for me, it can't be a top 5.
I mean, it was technically considered a playlist if we're being real. I mean,
Right. And now we're gonna be like,
and it was still fire.
Now we're gonna be like, oh, it's the album of the year potentially.
You're gonna tell me
Like, no, it was a playlist.
Was it a track to track? Was it a track to track
No.
playlist?
I
You can
skipped
skip.
I skipped.
I can skip a few tracks.
To be honest, I could skip. Was
Which
it
tracks
dope?
though?
Was it
Besides
dope?
the gigs featuring KMT,
Come on.
because I wasn't impressed with that.
I don't
I'm
skip.
sorry, but I wasn't impressed.
To be honest,
with
that's one of them that I don't skip sometimes. Just because it makes me laugh.
that. The
But-
Skepta interlude was fire. I like Skepta.
It was fire.
The Sanford interlude was fire. Okay.
I skip it
I
sometimes.
like
Lamb was
the
fire.
Sanford.
Passion Fruit was fire. Free Smoke, Free Smoke.
Yeah, Chester.
Yeah, I skipped
That's
it.
come
I
on.
skipped
Skip,
it.
yeah.
I skipped.
How do you
Bro,
that?
It's played out. It's played out. It's played out.
I don't.
It's played out, bro.
You played it
For me,
Portland?
something that's played out is if I play it a lot.
I play it now, but I stopped listening to it because I didn't want it to get played out.
Fake Love was a huge hit.
It was a huge hit.
Huge hit.
But it's one of those things when you get to the album, you skip.
You know, like
I guess if like you hear it a lot.
At first, I hated it. Now I love it. It's my favorite song off the album now. Off the playlist, my fault, not album.
My wife says she loves Blem.
Fire.
Yo, it's fire. That she loves that album too, man. That and I go back to it all the time.
That's why I'm like,
Because it's good vibes. So
It's,
that's what
it's
Drake
it's
does.
great vibes, but for me, great vibes doesn't always equal
Great album.
album of the year.
Yeah.
Like, we're arguing album of the year potential. And for me, I just can't be like, yo.
Yeah, Drake wouldn't meet that cut for me
Right.
for album of the year, but
You know what I mean? I can respect it on the top 10.
I will be listening to it.
I can definitely respect it on the top 10. But top 5, like,
I thought about Drake with my list. Like top 10, he would
you
make my
just
top
skipped
10.
it, right? You just skipped it.
What?
You just skipped it.
Skip Drake?
Yeah.
I was listening to Drake today.
Drake's fire.
Like I was listening
Stop.
to Drake today. I'm saying he would make top 10 because there are tracks that I do skip. It's very few, not as much as you skip, but he makes my top 10
Top 10?
because of the good vibes.
Top 10, yes. But I
Yes,
will get you in the
but
top
not
10.
top 5. I agree with you there.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, based on replay value, did I not say that earlier? Based on replay value, the pieces, the projects of art that I enjoyed listening to the most were those top 5. Those are my top 5s of this year based on that. Whether you want to go that deep into like the lyrics and the meaning and the stories, that's up to you guys. But me, just based on replay value, Drake is there.
Nah, like I said, I definitely respect everybody's opinion. I respect everybody's rankings. It was just one of those things when you said it, I was like, what?
What are your predictions for 2018?
2018.
What are your predictions?
ASAP.
ASAP needs to
Oh,
go by Christmas.
I need
By
an
Christmas,
ASAP
I need
Rocky.
that.
I need a Travis Scott. I need another Kid Cudi. I need a Schoolboy Q.
I'm excited for a Schoolboy
I
album.
need Schoolboy.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
And then I want something to surprise me. Like I want a fire Gold Link or like a fire. I didn't know he had that in him. Or it's been a minute since I heard that.
I can't wait for Huncho Jack to drop, man. I can't wait to, share our thoughts on that album.
Count. I hope it drops right after we post it.
I hope it drops as soon as possible. The
Right
moment
after we
press
post this.
upload.
I hope it drops.
Well, There you have it, folks. That's our top 5 albums of 2017. Again, this is Thirsty Thursday. I'm Carmelo. This is Anthony. This is KC. Like and subscribe to our channel. We'd really appreciate that. Also, leave a comment in the comment section on what your top 5 album is and why. We'd love to have a chat with you as well. See if we agree or disagree on your top 5. Until then, stay hydrated.
Peace.
Cut that, babe. Cut it.